I'm David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we're focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, we've been studying over the past couple of months the wilderness journey of the Israelites, where the Lord delivered the Israelites from their slavery in Egypt and then took them into the wilderness, where he was going to prepare them by teaching them lessons that they were going to have to learn in order to fulfill their destiny that would take place in the promised land. Now, we're going to close everything up in this week, and so I'm giving some brief summaries of this wilderness journey and then some important lessons that we must glean from the events that took place in the Israelites' lives while they were in the wilderness, and some things that we must learn if we are going to learn from their mistakes. So today we're going to be talking about how we must love the Lord if we're going to fulfill our destiny in Jesus. You know, you would think that loving the Lord would have been easy for the Israelites. I mean, the Lord came down to Egypt, where the Israelites have been in slavery for over 400 years, and he delivers them out of their slavery, and then he's taking them to the promised land. And so you would think that they would respond to the Lord with great love. But that was not the case. It wasn't long after they got into the wilderness that they have already rebelled against Moses. They want to kill him. They've rebelled against the Lord. They have Aaron build a golden calf, and they begin to worship this golden calf with all kinds of lascivious activities. It was awful. But even then, the Lord expresses his love for his people. Listen to this. We read about it in in Exodus 34, verse 6 and 7. And the Lord passed in front of Moses, proclaiming, the Lord, the compassionate and gracious God, slow to anger, abounding in love and faithfulness, maintaining love to thousands, forgiving wickedness, rebellion, and sin. The Lord is saying, listen, I abound with love for my people, and I am willing to forgive. But see, what we need to understand is that the Lord in this time of the wilderness was trying to build a loving relationship with his people. He, of course, loved them, but he wanted them to reciprocate with a love back. He wanted a love relationship with them. In fact, it was in the wilderness that the Lord spoke to Moses the law, and part of the law said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, with all your strength. Now, you may think, how can you command somebody to love you? Well, that's easy, because the Lord understands that love is a choice. He chooses to love us, not because we deserve it. We don't. But he's telling us, I want you to love me back. Not because you feel it, not because you have spiritual goosebumps, not because I've given you great spiritual experiences. I want you to love me because you choose to love me. And that's what God is saying to us. Love me. That's a command. And you can do it because I've given you a free will where you can choose to love me. This is something that every Christian needs to learn. If we are going to follow Jesus and fulfill our destiny, it is an absolute necessity that we have a love relationship with him. It's not that everything is always going to be lovely, where we just have overwhelming, joyful feelings. Sometimes it's difficult as we walk through difficult circumstances, but the Lord says, if you love me, I'll see you through. I'll see you tomorrow.